Did we start this chapter 9? Chapter 14.
Which chapter?
Chapter 14. No, we didn't start. So we completed chapter 13 the last time that we met. Right. So that is closing the deal. This is, if you close the deal, what do we have to do? That is after sales service. Right. So we are going to look at service follow-up for us to be able to retain our customers. Right. So let us go to this, the golden rule, the 3 business life. First, service. You see. Now the golden rule here looks at what? Prove truly that you are a salesperson, that you care with what? With royal service. Prove what you said in your presentation was the truth. Now you stated so many things in your presentation, in your sales calls. So in the service, you have to prove this. Take your time to build long-term business relationships. Very, very important. And realize that customer satisfaction leads to customer retention. If the customer is satisfied with what you sell, the way that you treat the customer does not go away. The customer stays with you. You retain the customer. That's one of the golden rules. And then here you see that place the customer's interest before yours. And you can see that the ethical service builds through relationships. So remember this golden rule. Don't let them go as a guide for the salesperson. Now, you see that there's a gap between what? The salesperson and the buyer. It is only truth that will bridge the gap for you to build relationship with the buyer. The buyer will come back if you tell the truth to the buyer. Therefore, you see that the bridge that hangs between you as the seller and the buyer will be closed, and you become friends. This is what it is. You see, the bridge will be closed, the buyer and the seller. See? Good thing. So we have to tell the buyer that for the buyer to believe what we sell to him or to her. Now we are talking about this service. What is service? Platon, can you move forward, please?
I am comfortable here.
No, I don't want to shout, so please come forward. Please.
I can hear you. I can hear you very well.
Platon, please come forward. Please come forward.
No.
Platon, I'm asking you, please come forward. Thank you. Thank you. We are talking about service. We are talking about service. What is service? This is what we have to know. So there is a quiz here. Which of the following is the meaning of customer service as discussed in the service and follow-up for customer retention chapter? So we are going to look at it. You see that service is part of the product. You see, insurance is a service. Is that? Is it not? Cross, do you agree that insurance, if you buy insurance, you are buying a service?
Yeah.
That is what it means. Do you see? Is advertising a service? I want to know from you. Why do you say that advertising is a service? Mark?
Advertisements show us stuff that we need.
Again?
Advertisements show us things that we need.
Is that what advertising means? It helps you to do what? Advertising helps us to do what?
Take care of our needs.
Advertising helps us to get information about the product for us to go and what? Buy if we need a product. So just as insurance is classified, categorized as a service, advertising is also a service that we have to understand. Service makes a contribution to others. It helps others. It improves the lives of others. Now, if you buy insurance and we understand that insurance is a service, we know that it is helping us. Why? Because it serves as a protection to us. If we are involved in an accident, if we are pulled over for overspeeding, at least we have that protection. Somebody will pay for us if we run into accident. And therefore, what happens is that we are very careful when we are driving so that we don't get accidents and then increase our premium. So, what do we mean by correct service? What do we mean by correct service? Refers to what? Making a contribution to others. Contribution to others, such as what? Our customers. We help our customers. We provide services to our customers. It improves the lives of our customers, those who come to us. And therefore, what do we do? We provide services. Now, there's a difference between service and follow-up. Is there a difference? Yes. What is the difference? And it is stated here that is follow-up. It refers to what? Maintaining contact with their customer. You see, in order to make an assessment of what the satisfaction of the customer, we want to find out if the customer is indeed satisfied with the product product or service that the customer buys from us. There are various methods that we can use to contact our customers. We can pick up the phone and call the customer. This is a follow-up. The customer might not even know how to set up, install the product. You help the customer by phone for the customer to set it or get it right. And then we can ask the customer if the customer is satisfied, if the product is helping the customer, if he likes the product or he or she likes the product. So, because words of sales of wisdom and the proverbs, sales proverbs, examples are here. You do business with one you trust, and you trust the one you know. If you don't know the individual, if the person is not trustworthy, you will not do business with the person. Somebody fixed my car, and we have the shield. He broke the shield, the side shield on the hood. He broke it. I went back. I said, "Hey, you destroyed my car. You have to fix it." And he said he didn't fix it. He didn't break it. So he called the owner of the shop. The owner came to observe it, and he said, "Yes, we have to fix it. You broke it." Now, the owner of the shop spoke right, but I have not gone there again, even though my side shield has not been fixed. It is the mechanic who is going to fix it. I know that the mechanic is not trustworthy, and therefore I don't want to go there again. Now, obtaining new customers and selling more product to present customers are the ways to increase sales. Bring in new customers and increase your sales. Now, it is always easier. These are proverbs. It is easier to sell a satisfied customer than to an unsatisfied one or prospect. If the customer is satisfied, it is easy to sell to that person, to that customer. So take excellent care. You have to be careful, and then take good care of your current customers. Right. So these are words to the salesperson. You see, knowledge versus wisdom, and as discussed, this thing you said, knowledge. These are what? Having the facts, information about the product. Wisdom is what? Applying these facts to take care of customers. Knowledge, having the facts, and the wisdom is applying these facts. Where do we get wisdom? As you see, wisdom is indeed learned. And therefore we have to trust and then honor people. You see, realize that our purpose is to help the customer, that is the people, the consumers who buy our product. You see, make right choices and don't be immoral. Learn from your mistakes. If you make the mistakes, don't brood over it. It gives you the chance to learn if you improve upon it. You see? When you make mistakes, accept that you have made a mistake. work on it, and then improve correct the mistakes that you make. Business begins. When does it begin? You see that? Look at the slide. You see that the first time you sell the product or the merchandise to somebody. Do you see? Business has started there. And you see that after you first sell someone and then they become your customer, as soon as the person buys from you, that person becomes your customer. Business has started. Now you have to be very careful the first time you meet the customer. Treat the customer right so that the customer becomes your repeat customer. The customer will keep indeed coming back. Let us answer this question. Let us answer this. Which of the following is the purpose of the sales call? Is it solely to make a sale or to help someone? Mason?
Should be both.
It should be both? Okay.
Not solely to make a sale, but you're calling to better someone else's position in which they're in. And you're also calling to make the sale.
Mark, do you agree with Mr. Mason?
Yes, I do.
It's both? Okay. Solely to make a sale or to help someone. We said that if you sell product to somebody, you improve the life of that person. You see? So you help that person to do what? To improve that person's life. Now you have it. The purpose is to what? To help someone. How do we help people? People have needs to be resolved. So we help those people to solve those problems and to fulfill their needs. You see? If that is the case, then your relationship with your customer has to be very, very strong. It's important so that the customer will what? Will be your friend, the customer will keep coming back. If I'm going to Atlanta today, after class, there are dry cleaning shops around here. But if you go into my trunk, I have over 100 shirts in my trunk. I have pants and suits. I'm taking them to clean them in Atlanta. Why? Because I trust the owner of this dry cleaning shop. I want all the time to deal with this dry cleaning shop. I lived in South Carolina for 10 years. I moved back to Albany State University, where I was teaching marketing and economics. All these years, this dry cleaning shop has been the shop that I clean my clothes. Why? He helps me. This dry cleaning shop improves my life. While I'm going today, I'm going to leave some clothes there, and I have some to take from there. I went to Atlanta in June, but my clothes are there, and nobody would touch them. Why? the owner of the cleaning thing knows me and he treats me right. Do you see? There is a very strong bond, very strong relationship between me and the owner of the dry cleaning business. The owner calls me, "Hey Al, how are you? When are you coming to Atlanta?" You see, calling me alone, do you see, it builds the relationship between me and the owner of this dry cleaning shop. That is the one. Help someone else. Maintain contact. Build friendship. Don't let it go down. Don't slide in the relationships. Why? Because in the end, you need the money to sustain the business. You need the money to sustain the business. Therefore, build strong relationship. Don't let it become weak. If the customer buys the product, the customer pays for the product and leaves your shop, that should not be the end. Get the customer to come back by calling the customer. Find a way to get the customer to stay with you. That is what it means. You see? Do you see? It's being more concerned for helping someone than making the sale hard for most people. Yes, it is. That's what I'm talking about. You see? Motivate the customer. Motivate the customer. Let the customer be excited, like the way that you treat the customer, so that you build long-term relationship with that customer. This is a model that we have to understand, that customers are truly important, but you see that their needs come first. Look at this, you see that analyze the needs of the customer. Present the benefits of the product to the customer. And so doing, what do? You gain what? The commitment from the customer to purchase the product. But you have to provide what? Selling the product alone to the customer gives us what? We provide service or services to our customers. This is a model that we have to understand. And you see here, look at the inside. If it happens like that, joy in work, harmony. It presents harmony if we are doing it right. Patience in closing the sale. If we are, as we saw, if we go back to read chapter 13, in closing the sale, make it nice and bear with be patient. Let the customer be happy and close the deal. Be ethical, don't cheat simply because you need the money. Don't do that. And tell the truth. Be frank to the customer. Be frank, be fair. Don't make an effort to cheat simply because you need the money. That's not it. Doing that, you see that if the customer feels that the customer is being careful and you are meeting to solve the needs of the customer, you see that the customer is happy. This is a model salespersons. You can follow. We have to put the customer first. And to put the customer first, we, the salesperson, should have some qualities, some characteristics. What are these? You see this, care for the customer. You have to be concerned about the customer. Not that because you need the money. Take joy in the work. 2, find harmony. That is you, the customer. In what? In building the relationship. That is in selling the product to the customer. You do it nicely so that you build a relationship with your customers. Be patient with the customers. You're selling the product. Be kind to all people who come to you. Be kind to them. And be moral. Be ethical. Don't do the wrong thing. Why? Because there are expectations from you as a salesperson. The community expects us to do the right thing. We don't have to be wrong. Just because. Do the wrong things just because we need business or we need money. You have to be faithful to don't tell lies that you say this is going to happen when in fact the opposite is the case. Okay. Fair. Don't sell the merchandise. By what? Discriminating. Especially using prices, price discrimination. Don't do that. If you do that, you are not being fair. Yes. Control. Be yourself. Don't be so emotional about it. About the work that you do as a salesperson. Now we have this, Mr. Mason. Let's look at this today. How would you answer these questions? Do these success characteristics describe you? Do you have all or part of them? Can you develop the missing ones? Talking about this. Which of these do you think you have? Assuming that you are a salesperson. And all of us are salespersons. Right? Do we care? 2. Do we enjoy the work that we do? 3. Is there any peace, harmony in the relationship that we build with our customers? Do you build a relationship with customers? Mr. Mason, you work. Which of these do you have? Can you answer them? Yeah.
Well, growing up, with my dad being a salesman and him always being in his, like up higher in his business, he's always taught me to, try to have some, how would you say it? He's always tried to teach me to have all those things that was up there, even if I don't excel at all of them. It's better to. I feel like I possess all of the.
All of them. Are you sure?
But I'm not saying like very like I might not be a professional at all of them. I might not be the best at all of them, but I think I do have. Even if it's just a little bit of each characteristic, I feel like I do.
If you meet all this, then it means you are good. But I don't think you can meet all this.
I feel like
sometimes
you can. Because it's really just like the golden rule. If I treat you the way that I want to be treated, you're going to meet all those things because that's how I want to be treated.
This is interesting.
Good point. I feel like I meet most of that too.
I might not be the best at I might not have the most patience in the world, but with my customers, I'm going to try my best to do the best that I can with it.
But do you meet all these characteristics?
I believe in that.
Most of it.
Like he said, I want to be perfect at it. I believe I love him to a certain extent.
Plato, do you meet all this?
Kinda.
You see that we are human beings. We are human beings. Sometimes here, look at this patience here. You see? Look at this. You see that sometimes a customer might come, and if you are not careful, you will run out of your patience. That is true.
Do you see these videos when like customers, they start to fight, in the store?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is perfectly correct. You see. But you see that if you make the mistake, if you realize it, you try and work on it. That is all. So you have to. And I know Plato cannot answer this question. He cannot.
What question?
All this, do you meet all this? You see, even the work we do here, the joy in the work that we do. You see that sometimes
yes,
even your supervisor will make you so stressful that you'll be angry, and they will not even make the work enjoyable. Is it not true?
Not every time.
Yeah,
Not every time. I know a lot of people that love their job.
you have all these characteristics, but
Yeah.
it depends on the situation, and in some situation you might don't have it.
Hey, Mason, you work. Do you always enjoy the work? What is your relationship with your supervisors?
Me and my supervisor have a great relationship. I mean, we play golf and play basketball together on our off times.
Is it possible that you can control our emotions? So sometimes we can't.
What's the question?
You are not listening. You are all the time with your.
I am listening.
You are all the time on your mobile phone, so you are not listening.
Women are made to multitask. Just because I look at my phone does not mean I'm not listening to you. I'm listening to you.
If you are listening, then you will not have even asked that question.
I couldn't hear you.
Please don't hear. Please don't hear.
I couldn't hear you, sir. I asked one question.
She said she cannot hear you.
You asked a question. I couldn't hear you. I said, what was your question?
I answered the question, all these people had it. Because we were not paying attention.
I was paying attention, sir.
Okay, if you pay attention, then you would have, because I even pointed.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you, Mr. Burko. I couldn't hear you. I apologize. I'm not going to argue with you. Go on.
Mark, what did I say? What was my question?
You fulfill all of those things.
The emotions. That's what I talked about. And sometimes we lose control of our emotions.
Thank you for the clarification.
Sometimes we do. No matter, we are all human beings, no matter what you do. Sometimes we lose our emotions. Sometimes we lose our patience. Very, very difficult because this is human nature. This is human nature. I am on the microphone, so I don't want to say something and cite an example that I had yesterday. You see, but I had to be patient.
What is there with you yesterday?
No, I'm not going to discuss it. And Platon, even you, this afternoon, look at what you were doing. I was asking you to move towards us. You were reluctant. You didn't want to do it.
I mean, how does
But you see that I'm a seller. I'm selling. And I was asking you, I don't want to shout too much. Move towards us. And you see that in sales, this is what? Getting closer to what? The salesperson builds what? Relationships. It builds relationships. But you were not what? You were not ready, willing to move towards us here.
That's all she wrote.
You see? So you see that here, as human beings, all this, to meet all this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it's not easy. I will be dishonest. Anybody, any salesperson who says that he meets all these 6 persons, these characteristics, is not telling the truth. It's not telling the truth. Sometimes we make the mistakes. But you see, if you make the mistakes, try and correct the mistakes. And don't make that mistake overwhelm you. Don't let it go and repeat that mistake. That is the important thing. So as a salesperson, we have to have all these qualities to build long-term relationships with our customers. Do we have questions for this? This is important. Mark, I will tell you this story after the class when I get off from the microphone. I don't want to record it. Okay. If you don't have questions, Mason, you have questions for this? Platon, do you have questions?
Yeah, how? Yes, I have a question. How you improve your characteristics?
How do you improve your qualities?
Yeah. How you improve these qualities?
What do you mean on this?
Yeah.
On this?
Yeah.
What do you think
How
you have to do?
them?
What do you think you have to do, Mr. Platon, if you don't take care of your customers? What will you do?
It's fine. It's a stupid question.
Excuse me.
I don't have a question.
Say what?
Says it doesn't have a question.
You didn't hear the
Sometimes
question.
It's hard to hear. See, like you couldn't, like I just couldn't hear you and I was paying attention. It all comes together. You know what I mean? No.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Like you know how like you couldn't hear him a second ago, like you asked what he said, but you were still paying attention. Like I was paying attention to you earlier, I just couldn't hear you. I didn't mean anything bad by it. I just couldn't hear what you said. Just like
Mark,
I couldn't hear what you said.
what will you do if you realize that you don't care about your customers? What will you do?
Just try to work on it. improvement.
Okay. Now, what will you do, Mr. Mason, if you feel that you are not enjoying your work?
First, you would try to talk to your supervisors and see if there's anything that you're not, that's taking the joy out of your work. You see it, anything that they could do to improve that for you. And then if not, that's not a reachable agreement between you and your supervisors, then you're going to have to find a new job that meets your expectations for enjoying your workplace.
Mr. Platon, harmony means peace.
I don't know. It was stupid.
Wait, let me finish. I'm asking a question.
Yeah.
Harmony means peace.
Yeah.
Now, there's no harmony in your sales relationship. What will you do?
Who I am? I'm a customer or who I am?
This is all these are all the qualities, the characteristics of salespersons.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I will try to build my harmony with my client. I will be prepared to the visit, and like I will be every time I'm gonna be professional and catch like words what my client saying and be kind of together with him and be part of it. It's not like separate, it's like it's be together, support my client, support my this guy who's gonna come to buy something, support his opinion, give advance to him, give disadvantage, be in a harmony with him.
Okay. Now, look at patience. Patience. Lady, if you in the workplace, you experience that you are not patient, your peers tell you are not patient, what will you do?
I would do it like, I feel like the only way you can learn is by experience. So like the next time I'm in that situation, like I'll try to keep that in mind and like be more patient with my like next sale to try to make the next sale, because if I wasn't patient in my last sale and it didn't work out, like I can't dwell on that. Like I just have to like make the next one better.
No, I disagree. You have to be patient, like always in your life. You cannot be patient on the work and not patient at home. Or something. You have to be patient, like in your life.
Dr. Barker, that wasn't what I was saying. I was agreeing with you. Like obviously, like you're not gonna like do all of these 100% of the time. Like nobody's perfect. Like we're all gonna make mistakes. So like if one situation like I'm not patient and somebody tells me like, hey, like you weren't as patient like in that case, then the next time I'm gonna try to be more patient. I'm gonna keep that in mind to learn from it. Like the only way to learn from your mistakes is to like keep it in mind, and the next time you have that experience to not do it.
Thank you. The discussions we are having help to answer the question that you asked.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay. Now, even in the workplace, you work with people, right? And somebody is lifting the bottle. That person can't. Mark can't. And he says, help me. Then you don't do it. You see, that is an act of what? Unkindness. You see the point? That is an act of unkindness. You have to improve upon this. Next time, Mark asks you, oh, Mr. Platon, can you help me? Or any one of us asks you, say yes. Show kindness. These people here, the nurses, you see, in the hospitals, sometimes some of the patients, they are so heavy that one person cannot even lift them. They ask their peers to help them. If I ask you to help me to to help a patient, and you said no. You see that you are not being kind. This one. So, if you realize that no, you have not been helpful to your colleague that you work with, learn to work on that and be kind. And you see that ethics is what the expectations that the community, feel they demand from we as the salespersons. The right and the wrong things that we have to do. You see, if we appear to be what? Unethical, we have to work on it. Don't cheat the customer. Tell the customer, if you tell the customer, oh, I was sleeping. I didn't sleep right last night. I was sleeping, so when I finished, I went to buy what? Coffee latte. Now they say coffee latte keeps you awake. That is what the salesperson will tell you. Now, if it doesn't help me, this person has not done the right thing. That is unethical. It's wrong. You see, so Mr. Planton, working on all this, control your emotions. As a salesperson, if the customer annoys you, keep your cool. Now, if you go off, you'll remember, Mark, when you remember that I told the story in the classroom here when Jay, every class that Jay has taken with me, he will go and report me for no reason. That is why you see that I went off the other time when I was giving out the new syllabus.
Jay is very, very good, like a salesperson.
Listen, now you see that I lost control of myself. Do you see? I had been patient over the past 3-4 years I met him. I went off. I had to work on my emotions to deal with him. Do you see? It will be wrong. It will be wrong as a salesperson not to control my emotions. So all of you have to learn to do this. If you are out of line, please work on it. Work on it and be upright. If you do that, then you are a good salesperson. Right? I think here, this is what brought us back there. We will. These personal characteristics are important if you want to have personal friends, even personal friends. If you are all the time emotional, you see that some people will not want to deal with you. Yes. You see. What is a business relationship?